In our first podcast last week, I was talking about the Newtonian moment, a sense that this century is giving us completely new way of thinking about human beings, and it's coming from the modern brain sciences. Because of extraordinary advances in the technology of being able to look at the brain in real time through MRI scanning and other advanced techniques, it's beginning to be possible to see how the human brain powers us. If you think back to the beginning of the 20th century, 120 years ago, when the very first X-rays appeared, how extraordinary it must have been in medicine that you could actually see what was happening inside the body. You could see the fracture in the bone, not just try and feel it from the outside. Well, in the 21st century, it's been the same extraordinary discovery of being able to watch the brain actually working. And so it's giving us a new concept of what is a person, because the central unifying thought that is coming from the modern brain science is that we human beings are fundamentally, like the rest of the physical world, energy systems. Now, a baby comes into the world, day one, with extraordinary amount of reflexes ready to survive in the world. But it also comes into the world with a brain ready to be organized. And the organizing of that brain happens through encounter with other people. It's to do with the nature of relationship and the quality of relationship, what is called attachment. There can be wonderful, secure attachment for a baby. There can be very insecure attachment for a baby. And the brain understands what is happening bit by bit by assigning emotion to experience. So the baby comes into the world with 8 basic emotions ready to be triggered. Depending on what happens to the baby, the emotions will be triggered in a wide variety of ways, and they will combine together bit by bit over the course of the baby's life development as a child, as a teenager, into early adult life. The emotions will be combined to create that person's feeling system. It's exactly like the primary colours that an artist has on a palette. Well, these 8 basic emotions that are ready to be triggered in the baby, 5 of them are to do with survival, escape and avoidance. Fear, anger, disgust, shame and sadness. The same emotions we can see in many of the higher animals. A dog, a favourite horse, elephants show them. It's possible that whales and porpoises show them too. The basic emotions of escape, avoidance keep us safe. And then there are the great attachment emotions, the great emotions of human experience, excitement, joy, and trust and love. And any of these can be triggered by the preparatory emotion of surprise or startle. So what we're beginning to understand in the 21st century is that we are essentially driven by our emotional system, and our thinking system is not what drives us. Our thinking system is there to give us a story about what our brain already knows. Isn't that extraordinary? That we don't guide ourselves by our thinking system, we are guided by our own individual operating system called our brain, operating through the whole of the nervous system, massively connected to our heart and to our gut. We're going to explore that. But a person is the sum total of their experience as organized by the brain. And in organizations, everybody attached to the organization has a slightly different operating system. And the task of a good organization is to harness all those operating systems in pursuit of the strategic and operational goals of the organization. We're going to be working on that through this series. Join us next week if you can. Thank you.